When are you going to go on Rogan, Ope? Would like to see you get your chance to tell your side since Jimmy and Ant did. F Rogan. Stupid Joe Rogan. Enough of him. Enough of Rogan. Very, very successful guy, but his morals are lacking a little bit. As he went after Carlos Mencia, he has some morals that he has to kind of clean up as well. F Rogan. Needed him one time when I was starting my podcast. One time. I asked for one favor. That's why I never really asked for favors from anybody. Because I knew deep down the type of people I was dealing with. So I barely asked for a favor. And Rogan, when he was first starting his podcast, we really helped him out a lot. He did a lot of appearances on our show. He crushed it. I will add that to my rant. He always crushed it. He was very fascinating, very interesting. I don't think he's funny at all, to be honest with you. I think he's barely funny. I think the reason why he got by, more than got by, was because he was very interesting and intelligent and found the really interesting things to talk about. When it came to being actually funny on the stage, he was just okay. But with that said, he knew how to figure it out. He carved out a great life for himself. And then we put him on the Opie and Anthony channel. That helped grow his numbers. That really helped this giant Opie and Anthony universe at the time. It's not a big universe anymore. They're scattered all over the place, the old fan base. And a lot of those guys got turned on to Joe Rogan. And then I need one lousy favor. I needed 1 hour from Joe Rogan. And I would have respected him if he had some fake excuse or something. But instead, he just doesn't even bother to write me back. So you know what? Go F yourself, Joe Rogan. Yeah, I'm not over it. It was one favor, one lousy hour. One lousy hour to a guy that helped you out in the early days. It's amazing how many comics that O&A boosted it to stardom now turn their backs to O&A. Yeah. It's Well, it's It's incredible, to be honest with you. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I helped a lot of dudes. A lot of them. And when you learn with these comics that nothing is real, they don't have real relationships with anybody. It's all one big hustle. So when I was sitting in the big seat, they sucked up to me and I got tricked. I thought I actually had friendships with some of these people. And certainly I did make friendships with some of these people. Kevin Pollak never turned his back on me. Jim Jeffries never turned his back on me. Chris Distefano never turned his back on me. Bill Burr never turned his back on me. Bob Saget never turned his back on me. And there's a few others in there. But then other people, Rich Voss, oh, God, and others, as soon as the big seat went away, they're like, okay, who's going to take his place? Because I got to start sucking up to that person now. Oh, it's ridiculous. Because, being a comic, being a stand-up, it's one big hustle. You never really have job security. Even when you hit with maybe a TV show or a special on Netflix, you get a little action, you get a little money coming in, and then that goes away and you got to figure out the next big gig for yourself. So they're constantly hustling. And so they find the people that are sitting in the big seats and then they suck up to them and make believe they're friends. It's a pathetic existence if you need to know the truth. That's why you see these comics when someone has a special come out. They're like, oh, make sure you check out blah, blah special. It's absolutely amazing. He's the funniest guy out there right now. And I had the inside angle on a lot of that stuff. And I'm like, but you were just telling me the other day you hate this guy. You think he's a hack. But they all do that. They're just a bunch of phonies, man. A bunch of effing phonies. Rich gets offended being told he can't act and throws the fact that he's a comedian as a counter. Please, Voss should be the least of your concern. I'm not worried about stupid Voss. He showed his real colors. Thoughts on the Jay Moores? Yeah, I haven't talked to Jay Moore in many, many years. I have no problems with Jay Moore. He was always very, very cool. Friend of the show, friend of mine. I absolutely would have at the time considered him a friend. He didn't really turn his back on me or anything like that. He just moved on with his life. He's doing very different things now. And he's married to a billionaire. He doesn't need any of this garbage. That's why Patrice and Kevin Brennan are great. Love them or hate them. They're 100% themselves. Yeah, man. I 100%. I love the comedians that just went after other comics because they were being real. Because these comedians, they're a bunch of phonies. They all hate each other. They literally hate each other. And they talk under their breath when someone gets a Netflix special or something like, why him? He doesn't deserve that. And then on their social media, I want to congratulate. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Look, I know we all got to live some phoniness. I understand that. It's part of being human. But, man, the comics, man. Whew. Oh, my God. Another one of them is Theo Von. Theo Von performed this weekend 4 blocks from where I'm sitting right now. 4 blocks. 4 blocks. He was another guy that blew me off. He didn't have time for me. Theo Von didn't have time for me. Okay. But Theo Von literally had nobody listening to his podcast yet. Now he's a massive star. I get it. But he's another guy that just simply didn't have time for me anymore. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Theo. I remember the day they said you want Theo Von, and everyone went, who? An MTV guy. He's trying to reinvent himself. He's starting a little podcast, and he does stand-up. We're like, I guess we took a chance on him. You know, the amount of people we took chances on, and then you need one favor, one lousy favor, one lousy hour in return. That's why over the years, I just knew in my soul that it was stupid to ask for favors from anybody. I just knew it. I just knew it.